Hi everybody, welcome back to Double Team, and today we will be talking about the seasonal anime, so our first impressions about the new season. And we have a lot that we are watching, so this is going to be in two parts because there's like 20 shows and we might add more, we never know. So for the first part we're going to talk about 10 series, and the second part will be 10 series plus maybe the extra ones we will be checking out.
See.
Yeah. So we're doing alphabetical order to make it a bit easier, and also we are inserting pictures of the anime we're talking about now as well, because it's probably easier for people to kind of see what we're talking about. So, well, let's start with this huge list.
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, so the first one we both checked out is 91 Days.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
I really, really like it so far.
I thought so. This is your kind of
I thought
thing.
you knew it coming. Yeah, it's basically, I guess for those who haven't checked it out, it's basically a show about mafia things around the time of prohibition, in which like you couldn't have alcohol, it was illegal.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of like underground stuff, and the basic plot is that the main character is trying to get revenge for stuff that happened when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Through a lot of weird, convoluted mafia things that are happening now that he's grown up.
Yeah.
So, I really, really like it. It's, like, I would say it's a seinen in terms of demographic.
For sure. Mm-hmm.
But it's, like, mystery, and you have a little bit of violence, but not, like, it's not gratuitous violence, I guess.
I can take it.
So. Yeah, I can take it. So, yeah, it's, for me, it would be like the Joker game of the season. It's that sort of mood.
Yep, I was
guess,
thinking the
but
same thing.
Not episodic.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with what you said. Like, I really liked it. I was afraid stepping into it that it would be too much violence and stuff, because it is mafia and you never know. But when I checked it out, I was actually gripped by the story as well, because they actually show you exactly what happened instead of like just telling you what happened to him in the past, which I really appreciate. So I think that was really like heartbreaking to see, and then it made me even more invested into the series. So I've seen 2 episodes, I think, and the second episode was really good. So
Same.
Yeah. So
Yep.
I was
Really,
really
really good.
excited. So I recommend this one to everyone so far.
So do I. It's really good, and it looks like it will be really interesting. And as you said, it's not just like in your face. There's a lot of things that aren't like explained completely, or they don't just sit down and talk about it, and you have to piece some things together, and there are some gaps, which I think makes it more realistic. So it's more that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So if you're into that sort of anime, which I know some people really are, and we don't get that much of it, go watch this one.
Yep, exactly. So that is 91 Days. Next up we have Amaama to Inazuma.
Or Sweetness and Lightning.
Yeah, it's exactly what the title says, isn't it?
It's so bittersweet.
Yeah.
I guess like episode 2 was, I watched 1 and 2, and the second one is less bittersweet, but I'm sure there will be more bittersweet things down the line. I wouldn't say it's like super cute and happy all the time. It feels like it, but then you have some subtext that you go like the kid doesn't understand, but you do, and the dad understands like all of the adult things that are going on as well, like that side of the story.
Yeah.
And you're like, that hurts so bad, but they're so cute. And
I know. I really liked the first episode for this one. I've seen all 3 so far. I do have to say, it's more like a cooking show as well. Like, it's slice of life and cooking, but with like the drama of families thrown into it.
Yeah, I'd say the cooking is more like it has cooking, but it's not like Shokugeki no Soma or something like that, in which cooking is the important part. Cooking is like the device in which you have the family developing the bonds and all of that. So yeah, it's basically you have a single dad, the wife has died, before, like 6 months ago or something. So really recently, and he's trying to raise their child, but he's also like not very good at cooking and not very sure how to do work and be a good dad and all of that. So it's just really, really sweet, but also really hard because it's very real. And I mean, there are a lot of people that face that sort of situation, and I don't think the show makes light of it either. It's like, it's there, and there are good things and bad things, and it's really good.
I think there's a good contrast between like the serious stuff and the comedy that's in there, which I really like. Also, when I first watched this or like read the synopsis, I was kind of worried about the girl that would come in because she's a student, and I was like, I hope this doesn't get awkward. I was gonna bring that up as well. Yeah, especially like episode 1 at the very beginning. I was watching this, and they meet in the park, so it's like a very casual meeting at first, and you don't know like the student-teacher relationship and the age gap. So I was like, is this gonna be a ship? Is this like is that the thing? Is this gonna be like a romance towards having a new wife or partner after the death of another? Which I don't like. We've only had 2 episodes, but I don't think that's where they're going, and I hope not, because that would be really weird. So at first I was like, is this what's gonna happen? And I was watching this with my boyfriend, and he was like, you probably don't want to start shipping this before you get to the end of the episode. I was like, okay. So yeah, it is, sometimes it's a little bit weird when you have that, like, they're trying to tell you where the limit is between a teacher and a student getting involved, like, outside of school. Yeah. So that part sometimes I'm like, I'm not sure. but we'll see. And the rest totally makes up for it. Yeah, true. And the kid is adorable. No, the kid is so adorable.
She has Naru's voice from Barakamon, I'm pretty sure.
So it's not like, Naru, it's
no?
It's the girl that cries a lot with the black hair.
The other one.
Yeah, it's her. I looked it up because I was like, yeah. Yep, it's her. And I'm glad it's her because, you know, she didn't have that big of a part in Barakamon, and in this one she's doing such a good job. It's so cute. It's very nice. So
it's adorable.
Yeah, I agree with you about the girl, by the way. But I like seeing more episodes. I'm glad that it's more that she just wants to cook as well, and she wants to learn how to cook. And her mom has a restaurant.
That you know her motivations as well.
Later on, it gets better and better for me. So I'm really starting to enjoy this one.
Oh, I love it already. Episode 1, I was already all in. Except I didn't expect the feels. Like, I looked at the synopsis and I was like, this is just going to be, like, sweet and cute, and they're learning to cook together and a child. And then, like, halfway through episode 1, I was sobbing. I was like, she doesn't understand because she's a kid, but I get it.
Aww. Yeah, it's very real at some parts, which is good. All right. So, next one is Arslan Senki season 2.
Next one is all yours. Because I haven't finished season 1 yet.
Oh, okay. That I was wondering about that. I didn't know you didn't finish season 1. Which you need to do because the end is really, really good.
I might, but right now, like, I guess it's not like I have a problem with the show, but the pacing is not very easy to watch.
Yeah.
To me. Like, it is sometimes slow and sometimes fast, and it's not very consistent. So, so I don't know. I'll have to watch it at some time when I can just focus on that show.
Yeah. I can see where you're coming from, because I remember watching the first season and then the last 10 episodes or like 5 episodes, I can't remember. I just couldn't marathon, so I had to watch it in parts. I couldn't watch it weekly either, so I kind of had to do it in parts.
I had to give up on trying to watch it weekly. The pacing just doesn't suit weekly watching.
Yeah, exactly. But talking about that, I feel like the second season does that a lot better. So I'm very glad about that, because normally it's like, oh, Arslan, I'm gonna watch 1 episode and then wait, or do 2 episodes and wait. And now I just wanted to watch all 3 of them, so I did, because it was really exciting, and it feels like it's changing up a lot as well, the story, which is interesting because it won't be the same thing over and over again, which sometimes happened in the first season, which was sometimes a problem for me. But it seems like they're doing very well now for the second season. I'm really impressed by it. The awful CG is still there though, but
oh, I didn't expect it to go away.
Yeah.
We'll have more awful CG to talk about further down the list.
Probably, yeah, I've heard. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep it by that. Arslan Senki so far is good for me, and I can't wait to see more. The only thing I'm disappointed about is that it's only gonna be 8 episodes.
Oh,
so, yeah.
8?
Only 8 because
that's an odd number.
Yeah.
Are they 30, like around 30 minutes as well, or 25?
Yeah. They are the normal limit, but I think they were doing 8 episodes because they wanted to finish an arc and then probably do a third season with a new arc or something like that.
That's a weird choice. I wonder why they didn't just do like a 30 episode show to begin with and do the arc.
Yeah.
Which I know nowadays is not very common for shows to be like an odd number anymore, but before, like around Death Note and stuff like that, you'd have shows that would have 30-something episodes. Or
True.
They didn't have to be like season precise. So I want that's a weird choice.
Well, the thing is though, the first season kind of stops in an arc, kind of, and then now the new season is another arc again. So I guess we had like 3 arcs so far, or 4 arcs, something like that. But yeah, I'm sad it's gonna be 8 episodes, but I guess I'll live with it.
You said have your Lord Narcissus.
What?
Is Narcissus for you?
Oh yeah, Narcissus. Narcissus is there. I'm very glad about that. He's gonna stay there.
Do you want to like try to sell Arslan Senki as a whole in like a short sentence for people who didn't check the first season out? Because no one else will start watching season 2 without that.
So I always had a hard time explaining Arslan Senki because it is simple, but then going further into it, it gets complicated. So it's more about a guy called Arslan, who is the Prince of Pars, but his father is the king, and he's really, I mean, he's just a jackass. He's just a stupid guy. But then war comes around, and normally Arslan can't really fight, I think, because he isn't, that great yet of a prince. He's just still training. And then stuff happens, which I don't want to spoil, but Arslan ends up alone without nobody. He only has like 2 people from the kingdom that is helping him, and then he needs to survive on his own. So that is kind of what Arslan is about. So there's a lot of other characters coming in that are very interesting, and there's a lot of wars going on. So it does get complicated because there's a lot of tragedy in all of the
it had
wars,
a lot of political intrigue things.
Yeah. So if you're interested in that, you can check out the first season, which I thought was amazing. Or you can check out the manga, because that is still there as well. So yeah.
Okay.
That is Arslan. Next up is B Project, which I'm also gonna talk about very lightly because
that's fine. I don't even remember what that is since I didn't even plan to watch it, so that's fine.
Well, B Project is a ultimate Bishonen show with idols.
Oh, so. It's that one. Okay.
Yeah, there's actually 2 of them this season, but this is one of them. And I wanted to check it out because I know Abby is going to check it out too, and we
you have to.
Yeah, we kind of like to discuss these kind of shows. But this one is just about a girl starting to be a manager for B Project, and B Project is an idol group that has 3 other idol groups into it. So it's like a project that has subgroups in it, and is it complicated yet? I don't know.
And B stands for boys. I don't know,
well,
but
probably,
it's all about boys. So.
It's all about boys indeed. So yeah, it's more about the manager trying to get her first job with B Project and then trying to manage all of the guys and their subgroups. So there's a lot of characters. So.
More of an idol show, or do you think it's going to be more of a reverse harem show?
I don't know. I guess it's more reverse harem so far.
Okay.
But they are performing and actually doing their idol stuff every episode as well. So I guess it's kind of both of them. There's not really guys already that have been shipped with the main character. I'll say it like that. So there has been one awkward scene in the first episode where one of the guys kisses her on the cheek in the car, where you're like, what? Why? Like, and then he's like, shh, don't tell anyone. And I'm like, no, I don't want this to get creepy. I don't want this show to be normal, just the guys having fun. But so far, watching all of the other episodes that came out, it was all fine. Nothing awkward happened anymore. So I'm like, okay, we'll see how this goes. It is fine so far. The songs are really good, which was one of the reasons why I wanted to check it out, because I checked out the songs on YouTube, and that was something that I thought was really good already. So I was like, I might as well enjoy the songs in the anime as well. And there's no awkward CG dancing, which I'm very happy about. So that's good. But yeah, that's about it. There's 10 guys, so it's still confusing to me who is
Jeez.
who. Yeah. But yeah, that's about it for B Project.
Yeah. Well, the next one is Battery, and it's a sports anime.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah. I just checked it out, so there's only one episode out so far.
Yes, it only started last week. So it's a baseball sports anime, and I really liked episode 1. I don't know how you felt about it, and you checked out the other sports anime, which I haven't yet, so I don't know how it compares, but I really liked the first episode of Battery.
Yeah, I have to admit, out of all of the sports anime, this is my second favorite so far. So I really enjoyed it. I think the drama aspect is definitely there.
Is the first one Cheer Danshi?
Yes. Oh! Well, that's not a surprise, I guess. But yeah, I did enjoy this one. It has a lot of drama in it. I didn't think it would have that much drama, but it's done very well, so I like it.
That's what I liked so much about episode 1. It's not your typical episode 1, I want to be the very best at X sport, and I'm still a scrub, but I'm gonna try my best. It's not like...
Yeah.
It's not... I guess it's not advertised as a shonen type sport.
No, yeah. It doesn't feel like it at all.
No, it really doesn't. It takes its time setting up, like, all of these characters and their own, like, way of dealing with things, I feel like. Like, the main character is obviously super, like, going through an emo phase.
Yeah, he has an ego phase as well.
So, like, you have that, and you have the little brother who is like, I want to be like you, and it's so awesome, and you're all great at baseball, and I want to be like you. And then you have the other dude who is just, like, super into the sports and wants to play with him, but he's also a lot more, like, happy and extroverted and stuff like that.
They're very opposite from each other.
So I guess episode 1 is, like, a lot of setting up character relations, which was really, really interesting to me.
I think that's very
It also looks gorgeous.
It does. Oh, it really does. Yeah. I really enjoyed that. But yeah.
So, like, you look at it, and it looks more like a slice of life drama thing, but it actually, like, revolves around sports, which I'm really excited for.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait to see how the two main characters are gonna, like, evolve together and how they will develop.
Yeah, the pacing was really, really good. I think they did first episode really well, and I hope it continues that way. Yeah. I must say, the main character, I could do with him being a little less pissy.
Yeah, me too.
Right now, but I'm sure he has his reasons.
Yeah.
Like, it started and he was just so whatever about everything that I was like, is he just gonna be Haru from Free like the entire time?
He did seem that way sometimes, and he kind of looks like him on the side as well.
Yeah, and just like the tone that is like whatever all of the time. So I was like, I'm not sure that's gonna work with the rest, but hopefully like there's more to it, and it seems like there's a lot of layers. So
yeah. I agree.
So yeah, I really like it.
Me too. I recommend it to everyone who likes slice of life and sports.
Yeah, even if you're not like huge into Kuroko type sports, it's not that at all. So check this one out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So next is the CGI. Berserk 2016.
I'm pretty sure you're not watching it because
No.
it's uber violent.
Yeah, I'm not watching that.
So this is a direct continuation of the rest that we had in like the Berserk movies before.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the record, I'd never watched the movies, but I read the manga up to the end of the Golden Arc, the Golden Age arc, which is the arc that the movies cover. So it starts right after that.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the Golden Age arc is like a prologue to Berserk.
Oh.
It like explains why things got to the way they are right now, but it's not actually like... It's also a revenge story. And in Golden Age, you like get to see why he's seeking revenge, I guess, is the way to put it, like how he got to the person that he is right now.
Yeah,
but from now on, it's like the actual plot of him like enacting his revenge and the whole like war and demons and fighting and blood and gore everywhere. So it's Berserk. I'm sure nobody that's watching this has no idea what it is because you need the rest, and it's very well known. I'd say I really love it because it's Berserk and I love the story. I love how they do it. It's very different than most other anime and manga out there. It's very good at what it does. It has both like political and war and medieval things, and it also has fantasy elements. But it is like, it's not even just the CGI. I don't like the CG. It's not...
Obviously, yeah.
I never like CG as a choice unless you can't tell they're CG, basically. Or it's very well mixed. It looks awful because they switch back and forth between CG and traditional animation, or they have CG with traditional backgrounds and it clashes a lot. And I expected that. It's not, like, all in all the worst CG I've ever seen, so take that with a pinch of salt. Yeah. Depends on, like, where you're at when it comes to CG. I can ignore the fact that it's CG okay. The problem is the direction of the scenes, like, the way they frame everything. They're trying to frame it as if it's a manga, and it doesn't work. Because there's a lot of, like, close shots. Like, you'll have a conversation and you'll see, like, this part of the face. It seems like they need to zoom out, and they don't. It's always, like, all up in there, and just sections. And it makes action scenes very janky sometimes.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I'm sure, like, I don't get nauseated out of any of those things, but I'm sure some people will have some motion sickness because of that. It's just so in your face all the time, and it just makes the fact that it's CG or that it clashes way more obvious because you don't have like the motion. Where I don't know how to describe it. It's like there's plenty of people out there in the community that know a lot about directing and filmmaking, and they'll probably explain it in better words.
Yeah.
The way they frame the scenes is awful, and that's the biggest problem. Is like just I spend most of the episodes going like zoom out, like I want to see action and not just
yeah.
So yeah, that's my biggest problem.
Okay.
The music is amazing, super hardcore, metal-y, like
nice
soundtrack goodness. It's just you need to at least go to YouTube and listen to the soundtrack, or buy it or whatever, like, wherever you want to get your music from. But you're gonna like that. It sounds great. Guts sword, which is like that huge ass, like gigantic piece of metal, sounds amazing because it doesn't sound like a sword. It just literally sounds like a giant piece of metal that just goes clang, clank. It doesn't sound like sharp or anything. It's just like he's using it as a bat. So it's awesome the entire time. Like, the sound design, pretty good. The story is just, if you like that sort of story, it's one of the best out there, probably the best in anime and manga. You do have to ignore, like, the artistic liberties they took with it. They tried to be too faithful to the way that the manga draws it. And I think that is problematic for the show. I also don't really like the choice. They did those, like, you have the CG picture of the characters, but then they added those, like, stripes for shading, like the manga does. It just doesn't work together. But, yeah, like, I love the show because the story is amazing and it sounds amazing. Everything else, I think, is kind of awful, but it's worth it because of Berserk. So, that's the appeal.
Yeah, if the story is great, that's already a good thing. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I'm still like really excited to watch it. I still have tons of fun watching it, but yeah, it looks god awful.
Oh, that's a shame. But oh well.
So yeah.
Okay, so next up we have Danshi. So another sports anime from this season about cheerleading, boys cheerleading.
I want to watch it. I'm so sad that I didn't start this. This is the one that I really wanted to start in time for us to discuss, and I didn't. So how was it?
It's so good. I don't know. At first I was like, how are they going to do this without being like awkward and stuff, because it is boys cheerleading. But I don't know, the guys are really, really faithful and loyal to cheerleading, and they really want to do it. So it's like, it's really interesting to see for the characters.
Is it very sportsy? Do they like do cheerleading in a very dramatic sports way, or like I don't know what to expect right now. I just know that I'm excited.
The thing is, I've only seen the first episode so far, and the first episode kind of explains to you who the characters are, and also them being in another sports group. So they're not starting off with cheerleading in the first episode, which I think was very interesting, because you get to see their background and stuff. So both of them, like the two main characters, are in another sports team, and they're kind of sick of it. They kind of want to do cheerleading because the mom of one of the main characters also did cheerleading, and his mom is a big inspiration to him, which I think was really sweet, and I think that's nice. It kind of felt different from other sports anime because the mom is involved, and I thought it was really cool. So then one of the main characters is like, well, I want to do cheerleading, and his best friend kind of is like, dude, go for it and I'll join you. And the thing is, though, since it is cheerleading and it's boys, they don't really get other people to join their group yet. So the first episode is still them setting up the group and actually getting people together to join their group or like club in school. So far we only know 3 characters, and you have the 2 main ones that are on the poster, and then you have one with glasses that we got to meet, which is this guy is Rei from Free, I swear.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Either he was Rei from Free or Midorima from Kuroko.
Well, yeah, he's kind of both, but he's more like Rei from Free. He's really funny. He has glasses. He kind of looks like Rei, and he's just hilarious. I love him because he's the kind of guy who's like, oh man, I'm gonna join this group, although I wasn't really supposed to, but you know, I like it, and now I'm gonna be acting like the leader, although I'm not the leader. You know, it's that kind of guy.
So is it framed more as a comedy show, or is it like...
It's comedy and sports, I would say. It's more like that, but it also has some slice of life moments for me, because they are actually talking about, do we want to do this, and why do we want to do this, and all that kind of stuff.
So I guess it would be more of a free approach rather than like a championship approach, like Haikyuu or something.
Yeah, it does have more of a free approach. I have no idea what they're going to do later on with the club, because we don't know how far they will reach with it. So I'm very excited to see that. But the characters so far are very lovely, and I really like them. So yeah, it's Danshi. I recommend it to everyone. I think it was hilarious, but also like,
if I watch it by next week when we discuss the others, I'll add like my input.
Yes, please do so.
But for this one and for the next one, which is Days, which I also haven't watched yet, but I need to, because my childhood was Captain Tsubasa, so I guess it's just a thing that I have to do. Especially because I saw like the print screen of him going like head first against the pole, and I was like, this is my childhood with Captain Tsubasa, so now I'm curious.
So yeah, Days is about soccer for people who don't know, and it's about this
football, like normal people call it.
Yeah, or football. But yeah, it's just about this kid who really wants to join the football or soccer team, although he doesn't have any experience at all and he doesn't know how to play it. So it's basically that. The blonde guy on the poster is kind of the guy who, trains him or wants him to play football or soccer, and he kind of gets him into it, which happened in a weird way for me. I have to be honest, this series is my least favorite so far when it comes to the sports anime, because it's so right up into your face that it was a bit too much for me, because it's just him. I don't know, it's weird to explain. The blonde guy is just like, oh, I need someone extra for this, game that I need to play. And he just randomly picks up this guy and he's like, so do you want to play? But he looks so weak, and everyone, I don't know, I'm like, why would you pick out this guy to play with you? And then he kind of like fucks up a lot of times, but you can see that he has potential, which is good. But it's also like the kind of typical thing we see in sports anime. Like, they want to play it, but they don't really know how to, and they kind of still need to get into it. So yeah, I don't want to spoil more for the first episode, but so far it was a bit too much for me, the first episode. Okay. So I'm kind of hoping they're gonna slow it down a little bit and actually show us exactly why he wants to do this. Not just because like, oh, I suddenly love soccer or football and now I want to play it. So I kind of want to see why he's so passionate about it.
Yeah.
Just from playing one game. So
I gotta be honest, like, I don't, despite my childhood, I don't really care for soccer too much. So even though like sports anime is one of those things, like, you don't have to care for the sport to enjoy it. Like, I don't care for cycling, and there's still like yoga pedal and people are super into it, that sort of thing. But I wasn't planning on watching it just because I don't feel like watching a football thing. But it's a MAPPA show, and I've yet to see a MAPPA show that I haven't liked. And they're like usually really promising. And they've done like really different genres so far, like from Bahamut, which is like a high fantasy thing based on a game, to that Punchline, which is sort of edgy, but it ends up being like super crazy, like time traveling whatever things. To like, so they do so many different things that I'm really, I just want to see what they do with the sports tag. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm checking it out. It looks great, as their shows usually do.
Yeah, it does.
So I'm hoping at least like I'll get some enjoyment like that. But yeah, I'm sad that you're saying that the first episode wasn't as hype as.
I mean, you might like it more than me. It's probably like personal preference and stuff about that. But for me, it was, compared to the other ones, especially because I think I checked this one out. No, I didn't check this one out last. But like, after seeing Danshi, I got too much hyped up by Danshi that I was like, there's nothing better than this. But I don't know. I guess I expected another approach of it for the first episode. So maybe it's just my expectations, and maybe it will just get better because I've only seen one episode. So who knows? I'm not gonna judge too much from the first episode so far. So yeah, that is Days.
Okay.
And the next one is Fukigen na mononokean, which is more of a supernatural show and comedy. It's more like that, which is something that I like, obviously. I like the supernatural aspects. It's about two guys. The one guy, I can't remember the names. I'm sorry, guys, but the main character basically has a yokai attached to him, and he can't get rid of it. So he keeps getting sick. He's just physically very bad because of the yokai being attached to him, and then he finds this other guy, this blonde guy who is the second main character, in a tea shop. And turns out he is actually a guy who sends the yokai to the underworld. So he's like, so I can help you. I can send the yokai away. So he does so, but then apparently he needs to pay him, and he didn't think he would have to pay. So now the main character has a debt to this tea guy. And I don't know why I call him the tea guy, that's so weird. Anyways, the tea guy, he works for, like, getting all of the yokai and the bad spirits back to the underworld, or all of that stuff. So they kind of start working together, because the tea guy was like, I need someone to help me because I'm the only one doing this and I need help, but no one wants to work for me because, this is a weird job and not everyone can do it. And then he was like, well, you're in my debt, so why don't you just do it until you have paid off your debt? So that is kind of how it is now. And I don't know, it's just a typical comedy supernatural kind of thing, I guess, with yokai, which does happen often when it comes to, like, supernatural shows. And I really like yokai when it comes to supernatural. Yeah. So for me, that was the first thing that really interested me. Also, the two main characters are funny. I really enjoy seeing them together. So that's also something that made it good for me. I do have to admit that this isn't the best show of this season. It's more chill and laid back as well, because it's kind of episodic with, like, a monster or yokai of the week that you will see. So for me, I might not check it out weekly. I might just check out 2 episodes at a time. Depends on what mood I'm in. But so far, it's enjoyable to watch, but nothing too special.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I decided. I didn't really make a strict decision about this show, but I really like the supernatural, like, yokai things. But it looked a lot more like a comedy, like, soft take on it.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like it's one of those things that would benefit from me watching it every week. And with so many shows, I feel like I would probably just put it on hold anyway at some point, because I would not keep up with it. So I just decided not to check it out yet. But it seemed interesting.
It is fun. I do have to admit, I do have the urge of putting it on hold and then, like, watching it all at once, or just something like that. But we'll see. So far, it's good.
All right. So the last one for today is Fudanshi koukou.
Yay! This is actually a short, which I didn't think it would be a short, because when I was checking it still out on AniChart, it wasn't like we didn't know yet. So I was like, oh no, it's a short. So I was kind of disappointed by that. But it's the synopsis that really got it for me. So it's about this guy who is a Fudanshi, which is a male fujoshi, you could say, which is hilarious. He loves boy love manga, BL manga, all of that. But he's not gay. He keeps saying it in every episode. I'm not gay. He's like, I read all of this stuff, but I'm not gay. I swear I'm not gay. And then all of his friends think he is gay, but he's not. And it's funny. It's too short, though. For me, it's too short. It's only 3 minutes, something like that.
I wish I would have checked it out before we recorded then.
Because
I thought it was longer.
Though. Yeah, I thought it would be longer as well. But yeah, it's very, very short stories of just what his life is about, being a Fudanshi, which I do enjoy. I really, really like this show. It's very funny, and it's just, I don't know, I just didn't think I would ever see this, like, seeing an anime about a guy who loves BL. So it's interesting.
Right. Yeah, I'll probably just check it out because it's so short. It's not a premise that has me sold.
Yeah.
I feel like it's an interesting concept for, like, a one-time thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure, like, how much I can watch of it, but I'll definitely watch the first one at least.
Yeah, the first one got me though, so I was like, yep, I'm gonna check out more of this.
It's a short. It's one of those, like, you watch it, and if you don't like it, you just don't watch anymore, and you only lost 3 minutes of your life, so it's fine.
Exactly. So if you guys want to check this out, you can do so. Alright, so I guess that's kind of it for our first episode.
Yeah, we still have plenty to talk about next week.
Yeah.
But you guys will have to wait for that.
Exactly. It will be exciting though. I can't wait to talk about all of the rest. So, guys, if you haven't talked about anything yet, please have patience. Maybe I will put the ones that we are going to talk about in the description below, so you can, because otherwise it will be in the comments like, oh, you should check out this and this, and you know.
That's fair. A different thing or a different approach. Do comment on the shows that we discussed this week.
Yeah.
Because the next week we'll have more, but we'd like to know which of these you're watching or not watching, and like or hate.
Exactly. Yeah. So feel free to share your thoughts about all of them, and we will be back next week with part 2 of these. So stay tuned, and thank you guys for watching.
Our summer season.
Yay! Bye!